Many fish species, especially in the ocean, feed on very large bait fish. And a lot of times, they're very down in the water column. There are times when the fish are feeding right on the surface because certain species of bait fish are up there. But when you get into the cold oceans, especially like the Atlantic and the Pacific, the bait fish tend to be deeper down. Sometimes suspended and sometimes right down on the bottom in water that's 300-400 feet deep. To get there, you have to use a vertical jigging spoon, and that's what I'm holding up in my hand. This particular one is about a 6-ounce spoon, and if you look at it, you can see it's quite thick. This is one made by Williamson, which makes a lot of saltwater tackle. So one side of it is very thick, and then one side is beveled. You can see it's thin. One side has a natural finish, the other side a glow in the dark. So this spoon does one thing. When you release the line, it drops down to the bottom. And if you could see it, it has kind of a gliding action. So you pull it up and you let it fall, and it'll glide in different directions. Now these spoons can be rigged with either a single hook, like a treble hook that I have here, or some of them come pre-rigged, as you can see, with a single hook that's on a lanyard. So depending on the type of fishing that you're doing and how aggressive the species of fish that you're going after, you can either use a treble hook or one on the lanyard. Now I'll talk a little bit about using the different weights. This particular one is about 6 ounces, and it's ideal to fish in water that's anywhere from 100 foot plus, anywhere from 100 to about 500 feet. The smaller one that I have here in my left hand is a 3-ouncer. So it'll work good in water that's anywhere from 30 to about 100 feet. And I've caught fish on both of them, fishing for these cod in the Atlantic, and I found that fishing in the shallower water, less than 100 feet, I didn't get hung up as much on the bottom, and the fish would hit the spoons much harder and they'd get hooked better. In the deeper water, I had to go to the heavier spoon to get down to where the fish are. So a good assortment of heavy spoons like this works good in the Atlantic, fishing for fish like cod or halibut in the Pacific, or even jacks and other game fish in some of our warm waters. Glen, this is awesome. Barb, have you had any hits yet?
I had one hit.
You know, Glen has been maneuvering the boat around. We've actually stopped at about 3 or 4 spots, and he was hunting for the schools of bait fish. Is that a key here to find the capelin?
Oh, definitely. Yep, you find a bait, you're going to find a cod.
So what we're doing is fishing kind of a pinnacle in open water. How many miles out are we?
We're about 6-7 miles off now.
Okay, good. And as soon as you mark the bait fish, he puts the boat over it, and then we control it. I'm going to see if I can get this guy by the lower jaw.
Oh, nice fish. Nice fish, Italo.
Come here. Can I get it in there?
Oop.
You got one?
Boy.
Maybe I should have used the net on him, but there's a nice cod. Have you got one too? Or you're on bottom?
I'm on the bottom.
If you look at this cod, they're such a beautiful fish. And they're such great eating. I'm going to put the gaff back here. I could have used the net, but you know, sometimes the bigger fish are a real problem. Barb, I'm going to get this one off and put it in the box.
Okay.
You can see how well he's hooked. I mean, they're so aggressively feeding down there, but you still have to be careful of the way you're handling them. Okay, so Barb, I'll be right there.
Okay.
And slide him in the box. There. And I'm going to give Barb a hand. Move out of the way. Do you think I can get it with the net, Barb, or should I use the gaff?
I think the net, maybe.
Okay, I got the net. Good one. See if you can steer him this way to the right, Barb.
Okay.
Come on up. Look, you can see how clear that water is. You know, we're fishing in the Atlantic here. We've got good conditions, good size, Barb. These are going to be excellent eating. Well done, honey. Look at, aren't they beautiful?
They are. The colors.
You know, when you think of how important the commercial fishery was here, when was the big boom, Glen, on the commercial fishery? Was it in the 70s?
70s and 80s was the big boom, definitely.
Do you have any idea how many fish they harvested cod? Was it in the millions?
Oh, it
tons?
would be in millions of tons, yes,
Wow.
over a period of time, definitely.
They're such a wonderful fish. I'm glad to see that there's an opening, you know, where the people can come out and get fish for enjoying, eating. Look at this. Not a gorgeous fish? Beautifully. Well done, Barbara.
Well, thank you.
Okay, get your lure back in the water, hon.
Okay.
See if you can get another one.
Sure. Fisher girl! Catch the passion!
If you're looking for a nice tackle kit where there's a variety of lures to fish different conditions, Fisher Girl has a really nice satchel. And you can see here that it comes with a nice protective bag And then inside, there's a plastic satchel that has a variety of lures. So these are all included. So these lures are all artificials, and they're designed to fish a variety of conditions.
On this side here, we have lures for shallow fishing, all the way from a spinner to a plastic minnow, a surface lure, and a shallow minnow.
That's right, and on this side you can see that we've got crankbaits and rattling baits. So these lures are ideal to cover a whole bunch of conditions. Just like here, for example, this morning we're on the Niagara Whirlpool, and there's not a lot of weeds here. There's a lot of current and a lot of rocks. If you were to use a jig, you'd get caught up on bottom a lot. So casting these lures is really great, and to do that, using a 6 or 7 foot medium action spinning outfit, like the one here with 8-pound test, it's ideal. So you can catch small fish, like large panfish, right up to pretty big game fish.